Hi, I'm Heather Bertinetti for ehow.com. Today I want to share with you my recipe for bread pudding. It's one of my personal favorite desserts. It's so versatile and it's very easy to assemble, so let's get to it. So first I have 2 loaves of what is brioche bread. You can use pretty much any kind of bread that's old or stale. It works very well to sop up all the custard. The way we do this is I'm going to cube my bread. The reason why I use brioche is because it's very high in fat and egg yolks. Hollow bread's very similar as well, so feel free to experiment a little and do whatever you'd like. So the cubes that I'm cutting are about 1 inch each. I'm going to put them in a pan. This is just a regular non-stick pan. So get all these in here. The reason I say 2 loaves of bread, you might think that that's a lot, but when you pour the custard over the brioche, it doesn't yield as much because all the bread sort of sinks and sops up all that delicious custard. So once all of our bread is cubed and almost overflowing in the pan, I'm going to give it a little squish down, just a little bit, and now we can make our custard. So I have a quart of cream and a quart of milk that I'm going to bring up to a boil. Okay, in a separate bowl, I'm going to separate eggs here. Here's a quick tip for separating eggs. You take 2 separate bowls, and you crack the egg in half, and then you kind of toss the yolk, letting the white slip out between each half of the shell. And then just put it in the other bowl. Right? So we have our whites in one bowl and our yolks in the other. So the yolk is attracted to the inner part of the shell, so that's what makes it stay in there. So now we're going to combine both our eggs into a bowl and whisk them together with our 1.5 cups of sugar. I've added a pinch of salt to my 1.5 cups of sugar here. I'm just going to whisk these together. Make sure to get all the eggs and the sugar incorporated. So for this bread pudding recipe, I take 1 vanilla bean and I split it lengthwise, and I drop it in the pot. We'll give that a little stir, make sure all the beans come out of the pot. And this is coming right to a boil. Now we're going to temper our hot cream into our egg yolk mixture. You can use a ladle or you can use a cup. You start with a little bit of the hot liquid, and you pour it in while you whisk your yolk mixture. So basically all tempering really means is that you're taking your cold yolk mixture and you're going to make it the same temperature as your hot cream so you don't risk cooking the egg yolks fully. A way to tell is if you feel the side of the bowl and it feels just as hot as your cream should be, it's tempered. So now I'm going to turn my heat down here. I'm going to add in the yolk mixture. And continually whisk until this thickens up. It's going to be about 1 to 2 minutes. So now that our custard has come to the right consistency, in the pastry world this is what we call nappé. It's a fancy French term, but don't be scared. It just means it'll coat the back of a spoon like so. So now being very careful, we're going to pour our custard over our bread in our prepared pan. Using a spatula, press the bread into that custard. Make sure it's like a nice even layer and all the bread is coated in. I'm going to top this with some chocolate chips. Alrighty. And now we're going to pop this in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees. So now our bread pudding is finished. It looks great. I cannot wait to dig in. I'm Heather Bertinetti for ehow.com.